So with that, it is 4:03, and I'm calling this meeting of the Wakefield Youth Council into order. So the first item that we have to do is attendance. So let's start with that. So is James here?
Here.
All right. Nathaniel,
Here.
Annabeth, Annabeth here. I see Annabeth's Zoom profile. Maybe she's having difficulties with the microphone. So myself here, Thomas,
Here.
William,
Here.
Michaela.
Here.
Ahmed said that he would be a few minutes late. Madeline,
Here.
Maya said that she would not be able to make it. Sophia,
Here.
Juliana said that she would be absent. Olivia,
Olivia had to work, so she's
Okay.
not here.
Vanessa,
Here.
and Aaron.
Here.
All right. So with that, let's move on to the next item. So do we have any members of the public that would like to speak now? All right, seeing none. The next item that we have on our agenda is the approval of meeting minutes. So we have to approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting of the last term, as well as the meeting minutes from our previous meeting. So I will start by, just to finish my duties as clerk from last term, just the meeting minutes from last term for this. So that's June 13th, 2023. So just to provide a brief overview, we talked about the Warrior cleanup being a success. We talked about potentially pursuing youth council budget. We spoke about bike valet information and communication via social media. We had a school committee liaison update talking about the Warrior logos and the student representative policy. We talked about how the next youth council term will be and different points of interest with that. And we talked about Julie Smith Galvin becoming the new town council liaison. So now I'm going to turn it over to Thomas to provide a summary of the September 6th meeting minutes.
All right, so everything went smoothly. Most of us were there. No public comments. We met Councillor Julie Smith Galvin and Mr. Collins, who will be helping us out as advisors for this coming term. We all introduced ourselves. We got our liaison roles, and then Ali was elected clerk. Ahmed was elected, or no, excuse me, he was elected chair. Ahmed was elected vice chair. I was elected clerk, and Madeline was elected to a new position of communications chair. And we talked about Wakefield Town Day. We gave a brief overview of the communications and outreach subcommittee, and then we adjourned.
Thank you, Thomas. So do I have a motion to approve both the June 13th and September 6th meeting minutes?
I motion.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All right, so now I'm going to go down the roll. So James.
Yay.
Nathaniel.
Yay.
Annabeth.
Yay.
Myself, yay. Thomas.
Yay.
William.
Yay.
Michaela.
Yay.
Madeline.
Yay.
Sophia.
Yay.
Vanessa. All right, so there we go with that. So those are approved. And before I move on to our next item, which would be confirming the slate of liaisons, I would like to let Mr. Collins introduce himself to the council and talk a little bit about his new role on the youth council. So I'm excited for this. So Mr. Collins, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mr. Collins. I've been at the Galvin for this is my 6th year. teaching 8th grade social studies, civics at the Galvin. So I recognize some familiar faces from being on Team C and some familiar faces just from the hallways. But if you were in 8th grade when we did civics, I know some of you might have world history, but one of the big focuses that we've been trying to do is really kind of make it community centered and really try to, with the Civic Action Project and all that sort of stuff, really try to get the community involved. So I was really excited when Mrs. Dinger reached out to be able to help and serve as kind of a resource for you guys and all of your endeavors and all of the projects that you're doing. So I'm excited to get started and get to know everyone, for those of you that I don't know.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. That was great. Yes, and we're very happy to have you with us. So, does anyone have any questions? All right.
I did want to say I am thrilled that Mr. Collins is here, really to connect that the civics work that we're doing, that's being done in the schools, and some of the great projects that have come out of the middle school and the high school, and linking that to the work that the youth council is doing. So I expect great things out of this year. And then we also have someone else special on the on our meeting today. So I'll let Ollie introduce him.
Yes, Mr. Ingalls, would you like to introduce yourself? So Mr. Ingalls serves on the school committee. So, yes.
Thank you. Sure. The special is like a high bar. I felt fortunate enough to find your link for because I know you've had a couple of meetings, and so I feel like I've ships in the night, as they say. It's been hard to sort of connect. So hopefully I can join you for a few more. Yeah, so I'm on the school committee, and I'm just sort of always interested in sort of what the youth of the town are sort of up and doing. I'm always very impressed with the work that goes on and some of the ideas that you guys produce. So happy to be your liaison for this year, and look forward to sort of hearing what you folks do and sort of seeing you in action.
Thank you. Yeah, we're happy to have you with us.
Thanks.
And Counselor Smith Galvin can't be here because she is traveling to go run the Berlin Marathon. So I guess that's a good excuse for not being here.
Yeah, great
with
for
us
her.
today.
Yeah. All
It's a
right.
small world. I have another friend who's doing that.
Wow,
Someone I graduated high school with.
that's great.
Interesting.
All right, so next we have our liaison position. So we need to vote to confirm our current slate of liaisons. So what I have down is James on Council on Aging, Nathaniel with the Environmental Sustainability Committee, Annabeth with the BB Library, myself with the Town Administrator and Town Council, Thomas with the Town Council, which is the town's lawyer, William with the Conservation Commission, Michaela with the Human Rights Commission, Ahmed with the School Committee, Madeline with the Commission on Disabilities, Maya with Health and Human Services, Sophia with the Rec Department, Juliana with Safe Routes to School and the Safe Streets Working Group, Olivia with the Police Department, Vanessa with Communications and Media, and Aaron with Wakefield Public Schools Civics and Social Studies. So is anything that on that list that I have incorrect or needs to or has been changed? All right, so do I have a motion to accept the current slate of liaisons?
I motion.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All right, so now I'm going to go down the row. James,
Yay.
Nathaniel,
Yay.
Annabeth,
Yay.
myself, yes. Thomas,
Yes.
William,
Yes.
Michaela,
Yes.
Madeline,
Yes.
Sophia,
Yeah.
Vanessa.
Yes.
All right, so those liaisons are confirmed. So now with that, Catherine will be setting up a meeting with you and your liaison position to get to know each other and to talk about different ways that the youth council can work with each board and commission and to create a communication network between that we can work together. So Catherine, would you like to say something on this or?
No, so stay tuned. I'll be sending an email in the next few days introducing you to your liaison point of contact, and then I'll be following up. So I'll be part of that initial meeting that you'll be having with your liaison point of contact. And then Ollie will be in touch because ideally we'd like to have each of you report out at one meeting in the future, hopefully two, so we can understand ways to work with the different departments and committees and boards. So be on the lookout for that email. So and I'll also text via the remind when I've sent all those emails, so you know to follow up and set up a meeting.
Yes, yeah, those connections are very crucial to us. So, and we really appreciate all the work that you guys do with your liaison. So that's great. So does anyone have any questions on that? All right, so seeing none, we're going to move on to discussion on a potential for a youth council budget subcommittee or working group. So last term, we discussed a lot about potentially pursuing a budget, a small budget, or pursuing grants opportunities to provide the youth council with some supplementary money to help us with our different initiatives and policy goals. And if we were to apply for a budget, that would be for fiscal year 2025, as fiscal year 2024's applications have already closed. I know that Vanessa was particularly passionate during her during her chairpersonship last term, and I think that it would be great to continue this. So establishing a subcommittee would allow for more in-depth research on this front and allow us to pursue this in a setting away from the general council meeting, which might be easier to manage with a smaller group of people. So does anyone want to say anything on this?
So I can explain kind of what I've been up to so far. So I spoke with Catherine about my process in kind of getting funding for us. So first of all, there's the Mass Cultural Council grant that we could apply for. The due date is, I think, October 14th, but don't quote me on that. But that would have to be for a specific project. So it'd have to be more specific on like what the funding would go towards. It wouldn't be just like operational funding, but hopefully it would like offset some of the money that we could potentially get from like town council and like the like financial councils from the town. But we could apply to be like a part of the town's like annual budget. And so that would be more just like operational funding for us. And so I kind of wanted your feedback on, first of all, like any specific projects that could use financial like funding. And then second of all, any like operational funding.
Yeah, so I think that that's all great. And I know that different initiatives that we've done in the past, such as our different cleanups that we've done in the past, have benefited from monetary assistance in those fronts and I know that especially this time we're going to be pursuing different policy goals. So I feel like operational funding in the general sense would be helpful in any endeavors that we pursue that may need that. And I feel like establishing a short-term subcommittee or a long-term subcommittee to take this more in depth and potentially draft something towards joining the town council annual budget and also pursuing these different grants through the ones that you were speaking about that would be in October would be great to pursue. So Catherine, do you want to say anything on this before we continue?
No, I do think the cultural council opportunity would be a great one for you all to take on. The application is not extremely difficult, and on their website I can we don't have a chat, but they have a list of things that they've funded in the past. So like for example, the youth action team, how many of you in Galvin have seen that the It's actually a canvas that they used to have up with 100 warrior faces, and it was all filled with 100 selfies of high schoolers, and it talked about mental health. Mr. Collins, have you seen that one? Yeah, some of you might have seen it as well. So that's an example. It's a visual art, or it could be performing art, or it could be something related to the cultural council, or a mural or something like that. So that's just something to think about. I know it's a quick turnaround, but if anyone has ideas, maybe they could email you, Ali, or Vanessa, or myself.
Yeah,
And then the budget process that we can talk to Counselor Smith Galvin about a small operational budget for the youth council. And then you all do receive donations for snow angels and things like that. So we do have it. That's how we were able to purchase the sweatshirts before. So we'll also have a small revolving account for donations that are accepted. So those are kind of the three buckets of funding that the youth council could potentially have: grants, donations, and operational, if the town is willing to put that into their budget. And I don't see that being large, but it can be, like you said, for supplies for events or marketing the youth council. Like I was able with another grant to buy the youth council a tablecloth. So for things like you'll be at town day, so you can have materials like that.
yeah, definitely. And I think that, oh yeah, Vanessa, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask Catherine, did you ever get a chance to look at how much was in our account for funding currently?
Yeah, you have about $180.
Yeah, so I think that pursuing these different avenues would be great to help us supplementary in the long run, with everything that we do, because we're going to be doing stuff that would require monetary investment to actually see goals be pursued. So are we in the general consensus that a subcommittee that would focus on this would be a good route to take? All right, so Catherine, do you think that we should vote on that today and elect a chair for that today, or postpone that for next meeting?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it can be a working group.
Yeah.
School committee member Ingalls, when you want to work on a short-term project with school committee, how do you facilitate that? Because I don't see it being.
You could just agree to form, the group. And
So
then
it could be a working group.
It could be a working group.
Okay.
And then if you had sort of a surplus of folks that wanted to do it, if you wanted to sort of limit, you could say, we're going to form the group and then finalize the group members in your next meeting if you wanted to.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah, so we would need to, I assume that we would need to motion and second and roll to establish that working group, correct?
Yes.
And it would be subject to open meeting law as well.
Mhm.
Okay, so do I have a motion to establish a youth council budget working group?
I motion.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All right, so now I will go down the roll. James,
Yay.
Nathaniel. I don't think,
Yes.
Annabeth,
Yay.
myself, yes. Thomas,
Yay.
William,
Yay.
Michaela,
Yay.
Ahmed,
Yay.
Madeline,
Yay.
Sophia,
Yay.
Vanessa.
Yay.
All right, so we have now established that subcommittee to focus on those goals, and I feel like that's a great next step forward for that. So to facilitate this subcommittee, we would, not subcommittee, to facilitate this working group, we would need, of course, people to actually join it to be a part of it, and we can finalize that at the next meeting, I assume, based on our previous.
If we want to do the cultural council
Oh, yeah.
grant, you might want to start sooner.
Yeah. Okay,
If there's anyone that's interested in
Yeah.
it, do you want to take a poll to see if there's anyone interested?
yeah, so would anyone be interested in doing that? And being a part of a budgeting subcommittee?
I would be interested.
I would be interested too.
I could also help out.
All right, so I think I feel like that's a great size. The 5 of us would be great on that. So I feel like that's a great plan forward. So would Mr. Ingles, would that be would a working group require having a chair to lead it, or since it's a more short-term project, does it need that?
The chair just makes it easier. It's the chair. It's sort of a point person would be easier
Yeah.
to sort of be the mouthpiece. You'd come to agreement and that person would talk. It wouldn't preclude anyone else from sort of voicing an opinion during a discussion, but a single point of sort of voice.
Yeah.
It's helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
And they can convene the meeting and do the doodle poll and,
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and then request the Zoom link for open meetings.
yes. All right, so yeah, so I don't think I would have to add an agenda item to do that, right? To open nominations, no, right?
No, you can just ask
Yeah,
for self nominations
So-
too.
Do we have any nominations for a chairperson for the Youth Council Working Group?
I nominate Vanessa.
Vanessa, do you accept?
I accept.
Do we have any other nominations? All right, so seeing none, Vanessa, would you like to I think that you've kind of explained like why you're passionate about this, but do you have anything else you'd like to say? No. Okay.
No, I'm good, thank you.
So now I'm going to call down the roll on Vanessa becoming chairperson of the Youth Council Budget Working Group. Yay or nay? James,
Yay.
Nathaniel,
Yay.
Annabeth,
Yay.
myself, yes. Thomas,
Yay.
William,
Yay.
Michaela,
Yay.
Ahmed,
Yay.
Madeline,
Yay.
Sophia,
Yay.
Vanessa.
Yay.
All right, so Vanessa, congratulations. You have now been elected to the position of chairperson of the Youth Council Budget Working Group. So I assume, we will be in touch about with the 5 of us. And if anyone else on the council is interested, I'll include that in my next email. If you would like to, if you didn't volunteer today, but you'd still like to contribute to this working group, then just email me, Catherine or Vanessa, because everyone is welcome to join anything that they would like here. So do we have any more discussion on that? Okay, seeing none. Next is communications and outreach. So the next communications and outreach subcommittee meeting has been scheduled for Monday at 5. So Madeline and I have been working together to craft that agenda, and that's been posted on the town website. So we're going to, both myself and Madeline, we're going to include it in an email to all of you, recommending that if you are interested to join the communications and outreach subcommittee. Madeline, would you like to just provide an overview of what the subcommittee does for people that might be interested in joining?
Yeah, so the subcommittee has kind of worked on a few different types of things, one of which being social media, working on Facebook and Instagram, also doing things with like newspaper, blanking on the word for it, press releases, and different, really anything that has to do with communication for the committee. or for the council. And it's definitely something that we haven't reached quorum a lot of times. And it's a lot of fun, and I would love more people to join this year. Because last year there were, like I said, a lot of times where we didn't meet quorum, and there's a lot for the committee to do. So yeah, definitely join us if you can on Monday, and if that sounds like something you'd be interested in. And it's very low commitment.
Yeah, I know that the subcommittee has struggled a lot with like chronic failure to meet quorum a lot, which has made the work kind of take place out of meetings, and unfortunately due to that. But since it's a small subcommittee in general, we highly recommend anyone that's interested to join. So at that meeting, we're going to be discussing Wakefield Town Day planning information. And as we talked about briefly at the last meeting, the Wakefield Youth Council will be having a table there where we can spread information about what we do and different initiatives or policy goals that we would like to enact. So does anyone have any comments on things that they think would be good to see before the town day? And we can, and as we will discuss more on Monday.
I was
Oh, go ahead, Michaela.
I was thinking that like we could do like we can have like set up like activities at the table that like adults and children can take a part to be a part of, so it's very like educational and they can learn about what the council is about.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, because definitely driving the interest and allowing us to spread information while also making it fun for adults and kids is great. Because I know that last year a lot of younger kids came up to us with a lot of interest, and they were excited to potentially join the youth council when they got older. We also got a lot of interest from adults with their kids talking about the youth council. So Catherine, did you want to say something?
No, I was just gonna say almost to what Michaela said, something that's interactive. Is if there's information that you all want to gather from other youth, that's a great opportunity. You could even do something like what's your favorite thing about Wakefield, and have a map of Wakefield, and people could have pins or put sticky notes or something about talking about all the great things, especially that youth see about our community, and then the opportunity for them to give you feedback about things that they would like to address.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's a great opportunity to do all of that, because we're out in the community and so many people go to town day. So I feel like that's great for us to do. So does anyone have anything else that they would like to say on that? Yes,
Yeah, I just really quickly wanted to add, I don't know if we did this last year or not, but I think it'd be good to have like a poster or some sort of like informational thing with a QR code on that links to either like a blurb about the youth council or the actual Wakefield Wakefield City like youth council page, because I know people were asking about a lot of information last year, and that just might be a little easier than us like always just letting them know. Another option would also be to just have like QR codes printed on sheets of paper, almost like a business card, and then just be able to hand those out so people can take them with them.
Yeah, definitely. I know that last year we did utilize QR codes a lot to get people to engage with our social media platforms and to see us on our town page and different things that we've done. So yes, definitely, those are great ideas. Mr. Ingles?
Yeah, I was just curious because I don't know if you've done it in years past at your table. Did you sort of advertise or have a sign up for the Snow Angel program at Town
Yes,
Day?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another thing that we did last year that we would continue this year, signups for Snow Angels, because it drives the interest in the community with that. So that's definitely a great point. Thank you.
Great.
Madeline?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I still have the Google Doc with the QR code on it that goes to like our Instagram and our page on the town website, as well as like some other information, and I can go in and update it with more recent information and stuff. But I do still have that, and I can definitely print those out to bring. And another thing that I remember last year was really, really successful was having like little pieces of paper where people could write down things that they wanted to see from the council, questions that they had, whatever. And then we were able to address them at an upcoming meeting or at a following meeting. And I remember that being, we got some very positive feedback, and information from that.
Yeah, those are definitely things that we'd like to continue and expand during that. So yeah, definitely. Vanessa?
I'm kind of bringing it back to the budget. I know we do like a lot of like tabling events, and this is one of our like biggest ones. So I was just wondering if anyone had any, I know like Ahmed kind of touched on a little bit, but like posters or like things we should have on the table, like Michaela was saying, like any ideas like that that we would want to do in our budget, like what we would do with the money, kind of like have examples.
Yeah, I definitely think that that those are good points to include. Like, and I know Catherine was just talking about potentially like putting like a map of Wakefield with and putting your favorite places. And I think like small stuff like that, and then big stuff like with other stuff that we do, it's important to have in that budget. So I definitely think like miscellaneous supplies for our when we do tabling events like this are definitely great. So yes, definitely. Does anyone have anything else that they'd like to say on Town Day? All right. So next on the agenda is I just wanted to reiterate about the bike valet. So those are still happening on Saturday. I know that we did last weekend or the weekend before, I can't remember. We did have to cancel it due to Hurricane Lee that passed over us. So we had to cancel it that day. But I definitely still recommend anyone who's interested or has time on Saturdays to sign up for one of the 2-hour shifts, since that's definitely an important program that we've been doing. That's seen a lot of success. So yeah, and Juliana's not here today, but she's done a lot of work with this, so I think that's great. Does anyone have any comments on that? All right, so next is I wanted to talk about our annual program that we've done for the past 3 years now, the Veterans Day cleanup. So normally on Veterans Day, what the Youth Council does is we do a multi-pronged community cleanup, normally on the Common and at the Galvin Middle School. And what we would do is we get members of the community to turn out to clean up the community, just for like the camaraderie of it all, and to protect the environment, and to show that youth interest in the maintenance of the town's cleanliness is really important to us in maintaining our environmental spaces. So last year we didn't have great turnout due to just how it fell. It was on that weekend. It turned out that Veterans Day was a long weekend, so a lot of people were unavailable during that time. So I definitely think that pursuing different avenues with that. I know that 2 years ago we had got the science teachers at the middle school to give extra credit for going, and we saw a lot of turnout that year, especially. And so the other reason I wanted to bring this up is that the Warrior Cleanup Crew has offered to partner with us for this event this year. Maggie Schaffer, who runs the Warrior Cleanup Crew, has been very interested in this. And I think that that's a great thing to consider, to take some of the work off our plate and give it to them to cooperate with this, to allow us to also pursue other policy goals that we'd like to do this term. So does anyone have any comments on that? And this would be also another thing that the subcommittee, the Communications Outreach Subcommittee, would pursue, and other things that we could consider with the budget as well. Yes, Vanessa.
So I know we partnered with them for the spring cleanup, and I think that was really successful. And we had a really good turnout. So I think partnering with them again would be really helpful because
Yeah, definitely. I agree, because we did see, because they have a large network of people that show up to their events too. So I think that helping them with us is definitely a great avenue to pursue. Michaela?
Yeah, so I don't know if we could do this or not, but we could like, I feel like it'd be helpful to get more people to participate in the Veterans Day cleanup if we like raffle off prizes. So like if you sign up and you come and you help clean up, you can enter into win like a gift card to like Cravings or Public Kitchen or like any like restaurant or shop or anything in downtown Wakefield.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Definitely to drive interest forward for that, because I know that a lot of people enjoy those types of interactive activities. So I think that that's great. And different,
Holly,
yes.
the only thing I was going to mention is one of the big draws before was that the fact that we had the donor that was donating money for every pound of trash to fund the Wakefield veterans for the year before, helped fund the their role to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, DC. And we raised over $1,000. So I think tying it into youth serving, tying it back into the youth serving the Wakefield vets is important because it is Veterans Day. And then the only other thing is just it is a long weekend, so I do think that that's what impacted the year before. It was in the middle of the week. So that impacts turnout, and then we also have to avoid the timing of the Veterans Day ceremony.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think that the other problems that we've had is that sometimes it's especially cold, because this is early November by that time, and due to the other ceremonies that happen on that day, so we don't want to conflict with them. We do end up doing it sometimes later in the day that we can't have like a long window of time for that. So I think that those are definitely things to consider with that. And I definitely agree with you tying it back into the vets, because that's the central purpose of why we do the Veterans Day cleanup, to really honor the vets of our community, and to help them with the donations that we've done in the past. So I think that those are definitely things to consider. So I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention, and this would be something that would be further pursued by the Communications and Outreach Subcommittee. So does anyone have any more comments or questions about this? All right. Next on our agenda is announcements. So does anyone have any general announcements that I forgot to say about anything? Oh, actually, in my notes, I see that Vanessa, I know that you sent out the active bystander information from the Wakefield Human Rights Commission. Would you like to talk a little bit more about this?
Yes. So I don't know too much information myself, to be honest, yet. I'm just waiting on a response from Sherry Oken, who is the chair of the Wakefield Human Rights Commission. But she reached out to me over the weekend, I believe, and she mentioned that at their recent meeting this week, they spoke about TAB sessions, which stands for Training Active Bystanders. And so they would like youth to get involved and also be trained to do this. And they also said that if there was a youth interest session was be covered by them or the Wakefield Alliance. So I don't know if anyone would be interested in doing that. I will also send a link with more information to the whole council. But if you just get a head count for Sherry, respond to her information of interest.
Yeah, definitely. Michaela?
Yeah, I can definitely find out more information since I am the liaison to the Human Rights Commission. So when I get in touch with them at the first meeting that I go to, I can find out more information about that and I can report back.
Yeah, that would be definitely helpful. And I think that this is a great thing for anyone that's interested to pursue, because I think that that's really important to learn how to be an active bystander instead of just standing on the sidelines, not doing anything when an incident is occurring. So I think that that's a great thing that anyone should pursue. And this could also be something that we help with them to promote on our social media pages, because I know that the Wakefield Human Rights Commission does not have social media, so they kind of struggle with that sometimes, and they've used us to help them with outreach in that sense. So I definitely think that that's something that we can touch on at the Communications and Outreach Subcommittee meeting to kind of create some posts for that.
Yeah, so Michaela, if you could find out, do they want to host a training, you know, because maybe the Youth Council and the Human Rights Commission could co-host a training, and then we can work with the town, maybe even through Sophia with the rec department, to find a space and really make it a collaboration. So that's what we'd like to see this year, is more collaborations between the youth council and your different liaison positions. All right, and I'll let Madeline.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. I think that co-hosting a training sounds like a great idea, and it definitely would pursue that collaboration. Madeline?
This is more of a question since I just became the chair of the, like, it's like a technical question. So we've already sent out the agenda. Would we have to add that, or would that just fall under like business, and like that wasn't
Yeah,
anticipated? Like
yeah.
we can just talk about it then.
Yeah. We can talk about it under like general announcements or other business not reasonably anticipated. Yeah, we can definitely talk about it during that time. Yeah,
Okay.
great question.
Thank you.
Annabeth?
This is just an idea. I don't know how much it'll work, but if they're thinking about doing one of those, could you have someone, maybe some of the student councils at the Galvin, like make flyers or something to promote the idea?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea to definitely help drive up interest with that. That's definitely something that we should pursue with that. Who is the head of student council at the Galvin?
Misty Ambrosio in the 8th grade, I know works with the 7th and 8th graders. And then don't 100% quote me on it, but
Miss Langlois, maybe?
I think this year it's Mrs. Shea,
Oh, Miss Shea. Okay.
5th grade. I think I can check on that tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure it's Mrs. Shea.
Yeah.
And that's why we have you.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a great idea, Annabeth, and it will definitely help us once we've like solidified co-hosting and collaborating with the Human Rights Commission. I think that this is a great program for us to pursue, and I think that making flyers to drive up interest is a great idea by partnering with the student council too. So I'll be in touch with you more about that to help us with that, since that sounds great. Thank you. Michaela?
Yeah, I was just gonna say about like the outreach about that too. I was thinking like we could maybe like make announcements on the school announcements at the Galvin and the high school. Once we set this all up and we find a date to do it, we can talk to, I know Owen Kelly does the announcements, so we can talk to him and ask him if he could make an announcement about the event.
Yeah, definitely. Pursuing all different avenues of communication about this are definitely important. Like we could also do a press release or something in the daily item. Aside from just posting on social media, I think that these are all important avenues to really drive up interest with this, because this is sounding really great so far. Vanessa?
I also want to say, Michaela, I like work with you with the Human Rights Commission, because I'm the student representative for them. So it kind of works out. We're both also on the youth council, so I think we can like also discuss like.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds great between the two of you. Yeah, that sounds like a great thing for the both of you to keep pursuing with that. So definitely I will follow up with all of us on this, and hopefully we'll get more information from the Human Rights Commission about potentially co-hosting a training on and being an active bystander, and to send this out to the community in different ways to promote this. So this has been a great discussion on this, definitely. Does anyone have any other comments or questions on this? All right. So with that, does anyone have anything else that they would like to say that we did not touch upon? Okay. Mr. Ingles, would you like to share any updates from school committee that we may be interested in?
I would. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. No, I don't have anything this week. I will come better prepared next time.
That's okay. No worries. So with that, so we would determine our next meeting. So normally we would meet on half days. However, the next half day, it's kind of weird how it falls in September. The next half day would be Wednesday of next week. So that's really close to our current meeting date, so it's probably better to not hold a meeting that day and rather to hold a meeting to follow along with like every 2 weeks with our schedule. It would be great to hold a virtual meeting the week of October 2nd, because 2 weeks following that day is a half day as well on October 18th. So that would follow with the bi-monthly meetings, because the having a meeting the week of October 7th would fulfill the one virtual meeting a month, one in-person meeting a month on half days. So does that sound good with people to have a meeting sometime in the week of October 2nd, a virtual meeting again? Yes, Michaela?
Just a general question, what time would we meet on half days?
So on half days, we usually end up meeting somewhere around I believe 11:40 to 11:45-ish, because we have to give time for the middle school members to get over to the high school, so that they can join in on the meeting too.
And people
So-
can join virtually as well.
Yeah. Yeah, if for
and-
any reason that you can't attend the meeting, yeah, definitely you can. There's always a virtual option if you can't attend.
And I always get pizza too, so.
Yes, as we are well provided for here. So yeah, definitely whenever we have a half day meeting. Does anyone have any other questions or comments about that? Yes, Madeline?
Kind of related, just like with upcoming meetings. I'm going to be sending out an email just with a little bit more information about the meeting on Monday for the Communications and Outreach Subcommittee. So if you are still thinking on it, like, you can just show up, and there's no, like, you're not stuck with it. If you're like, you know what, this doesn't, like, just come, see, and yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I've served on the Communications and Outreach Subcommittee since I was in 7th grade. So I can definitely say it's been a lot of fun. So these past years. So yeah, definitely I recommend joining it. So before we adjourn, does anyone have anything else in general that they would like to say or talk about? All right. So with that, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I motion.
Do I have a second?
I
A
second.
second.
Now I'll call down the roll. James,
Yeah.
Nathaniel,
Yay.
Annabeth,
Yay.
myself, yes. Thomas,
Yay.
William,
Yay.
Michaela,
Yay.
Ahmed,
Yeah.
Madeline,
Yay.
Sophia,
Yay.
Vanessa.
Yay.
All right. So thank you all for coming. We had so many great discussions today, and I'll be in touch about a lot of the stuff that we discussed, and Madeline will be in touch with the Communications and Outreach Subcommittee meeting happening on Monday, and Vanessa with